The 17 years periodical cicada live underground for 17 years. Our focus, Brood 13, has been nesting underground since 2007, and is estimated to emerge in 2024 in the Chicago region. The Brood 13 includes 3 species, Magicicada septendecim, Magicicada cassini and Magicicada septendecula. This is a map showing the expected cicada brood's year appearance after 2021 in the Level 1 ecoregions of North America. Ecoregion is an area that shares similar ecological conditions. Based on the map, we see that the majority of the broods, including Brood 13 highlighted in pink, will reside in 2 ecoregions, Great Plain and Eastern Temperate Forests. The selected site is Peterson Avenue running in the north of Chicago. Maturing. Periodical cicada nymphs live underground for 13 or 17 years, spending their 5 juvenile stages. They receive nutrients from sucking root fluids for food. Through underground life, they grow from the size of a small ant to an adult. Emergence. In the spring of their 13th or 17th year, nymphs create an half-inch exit hole and come up to the ground. Periodical cicadas usually emerge when the soil temperature at the 7 to 8 inches becomes approximately 67 degrees Fahrenheit. Molting. After emergence, cicadas locate themselves on nearby vegetation and start molting. New adults appear in white skeleton body which darkens quickly after. Newly adults spend approximately 6 days to harden completely. Mating. After adults mature completely, male cicadas make mating calls to attract females. Female cicadas respond with wing flicks, and they duet during the negotiation. Sounds. Cicada noise is significant. They are almost as loud as motorcycles. Leaving offspring. Once fertilized, female cicadas fly to small branches where they deposit eggs in egg nests. Using a sharp egg-laying appendage called an ovipositor, the female cicada slices narrow slits parallel to the long axis of the branch. She then lay about 20 eggs in each nest and in total around 600 eggs. Hatch and decaying. After 6 to 10 weeks, the eggs hatch and the new nymphs drop from the trees, burrow underground, and start their underground development. Benefits. The emergence tunnels help the health of the soil by providing fresh air to soil and improve water filtration into the ground. Cicada is an important food resource for birds, spiders, snakes, and others. Cicada broods emerge in large populations, which is the strategy to protect themselves from predators. The adult dies after the nymph hatch. Their decaying bodies contribute a massive amount of nitrogen and other nutrients to the soil. Threats. Removing trees, especially deciduous trees, could harm the cicada habitat. Adult cicadas feed on plant fluids from the young twigs of trees and woody shrubs. Females also lay eggs on the branches of trees. Taking out trees means cicadas losing their resource for food and reproduction. Soil compaction due to urbanization could be a cause of cicada diversity loss, as it cuts off the passage of nymphs to underground nests. Urban development also limits cicada emergence as developed concrete pavement and path block the cicadas' exit holes. Opportunities. Plant more deciduous trees. Cicadas don't like coniferous trees or those with evergreen leaves that keep their foliage all year. Instead, they go for the deciduous trees, which lose their leaves annually, such as oak trees, maple trees, fruit trees, hawthorn trees, and redbud trees. Restriction. Restrict urban development in the area where cicadas are expected to arrive. Divide residential areas, natural spaces, and infrastructure by zoning to prevent soil compaction. This guideline proposal suggests 3 approaches to transform Peterson Avenue to a green corridor for cicadas: land management, policy change, and public engagement. This is the northwest corner of the Rose Hill Cemetery and a small portion of the Westridge Nature Park. There is a high wall surrounding the cemetery on the north side as a sound barrier from roads. The west side is covered with fencing. Westridge Nature Park has a dense tree of many varieties and rich ecology. Proposed design guidelines are restricting construction and removal of trees, leaving leaf litters and dead logs on the ground, and replacement of the wall with a berm. Peterson Avenue has many parks and natural lands, and it is home of diverse wild and aquatic life. The parks need to be well managed and maintained to sustain the rich ecological environment. Therefore, removal of trees is prohibited on the site. Construction of new hard surfaces is highly restricted. Construction of a hard surface has a risk of soil compaction. The soil compaction increases soil density. It might cause cicada diversity loss as it cuts off the passage of nymphs to underground nests. It also hinders the root growth due to poor water and nutrient uptake. It is important to keep plant litter on the ground as their decomposition provides ample nutrients to the soil. There are many dead tree logs found in the Northridge Nature Park. They should be kept for the purpose of mushroom growing in the future. The leaf litter, branches, and logs fallen on the ground constructs a habitat for wildlife, including deer and birds. The berm was introduced as a replacement for the wall, and now it becomes a new habitat for cicadas. Its height and tree layers block the noise coming from the road and create a peaceful atmosphere in the cemetery. The visitors of the cemetery can climb up the berm and enjoy the walk surrounded by lush greenery and beautiful spring flowers. This is the area where Peterson Avenue intersects with North St. Louis Avenue. There is a building called Peterson Corporate Center next to the parking lot. Their parking seems to be highly used by visitors to the center. Parkway is a typical condition with turf and a few trees. This part of Peterson Avenue is a 4-lane road with no median. Proposed design guidelines include populating parking with green, plant deciduous trees on sidewalk and median, and plant more native planting. According to the Chicago Landscape Ordinance, vehicular use areas between 3,000 and 4,500 square feet require a landscape area equal to 5% of the total area of the vehicular use area. A lot of parking along Peterson Avenue are estimated to be constructed before the ordinance was created, so many have only a few or no green spaces on the parking. The proposed guideline for parking increased the required landscape area from 5% of the total area to 10%. The internal and external planting are required to be filled with trees and shrubs. Also, some portions of the parking lot need to be designated for bike parking to encourage bike rides in the site. In the Chicago Landscape Ordinance, the parkway planting requirement is explained as 1 tree per 25 linear feet of frontage of a public right-of-way. Many sidewalks on Peterson Avenue do not comply with the requirement. The new guideline is planting 1 tree per 15 linear feet. Trees need to be deciduous trees as cicadas prefer those trees to feed on and lay eggs. Recommended species are oak, dogwood, elm, and linden trees since they are aesthetically pleasing and ecologically beneficial. They were selected based on the roadway plant list from the Chicago Department of Transportation. Road with car lanes and has an opportunity for a new possible cicada habitat. If the roadway is wider than 60 feet, there needs to be a median. The street and site plan design standard was used as a reference of median size. This median helps cicadas to cross the busy road and freely move around the site. To increase biodiversity of the parkway, native plants are encouraged to be planted. The change from turf to bare soil with native plants keeps foot traffic away from the ground where cicadas are nesting and emerging. The selected species includes little bluestem, butterfly weed, and prairie dropseed. This shows the east part of Mather Park and houses nearby. Mather Park is a highly used recreational park for Mather high schools and neighboring outdoor activities. Residences are typical houses with an open front yard, which could be an opportunity for green intervention. The proposed guidelines are holding interactive events with neighbors to educate them about cicadas, restricting mowing and use of pesticides on lawn, and using permeable surface for street parking. The Cicada Park is created through the program by the Chicago Park District and the students from the Mather High School next to the Mather Park. The students come back to the garden 17 years after the installation and enjoy cicada emergence in the garden with their old peers. The garden has a diverse plant selection that cicadas prefer, including oak, redbud, cherry, and pear tree. This is another interactive event where neighbors can learn how to create a woodchip mushroom garden and shiitake logs. Shiitake log is an easy practice for harvesting mushrooms by reusing dead hard logs, especially oak trees, found in nearby parks. Mushrooms help break down organic matter into nutrients that plants can use, hook up with plant roots to help them access water, and improve soil structure. A woodchip mushroom garden can be easily created by following 4 steps: digging a shallow semicircle hole around the base of a tree, adding wood chips, taking a bag of spawn, and sprinkling the spawn on the hole. Shiitake logs is also a simple practice that can be done in a backyard garden. The neighbors bring back the knowledge and skill learned in various programs and produce the residential cicada gardens in their front yards. Cicadas are attracted to loud noises, including those coming from mowing machinery, and they will swarm toward the noise. During the emergence season, it is suggested that mowing takes place in the early morning hours or at dusk when they are not active. Pesticides are not recommended as they might harm the wildlife that feed on cicadas and disturb the whole food cycle. Permeable street parking allows the expansion of cicada habitat while also helps runoff from road to soak back into the ground. Listen to the cicadas buzzing and enjoy the feel of the summer. This is a half-mile long Peterson Avenue from Mather Park to Rose Hill Cemetery with the proposed designs.